G'day ladies and gentlemen. Those of you that already follow me on Twitter will know that this year I was given the opportunity to head to LA and attend E3 with Ubisoft Australia and a couple of fellow Australian YouTubers that go by the names of Lachlan and Prestige Clips. Seeing as though E3 is something that I've wanted to do for as long as I've been gaming, I immediately jumped at the chance. As well as attending the expo, we've also been given some hands-on time with a few of Ubisoft's upcoming games. We were also able to capture some gameplay footage to show all of you as well. First game we checked out was Ghost Recon Wildlands. For those of you that don't know a whole lot about this game, let me fill you in quickly. Ghost Recon Wildlands is an upcoming open-world third-person tactical shooter that is being developed by Ubisoft Paris, and will be the 10th game of the Ghost Recon franchise. The game is set in Bolivia, which has become the largest source of cocaine on the planet and has been overrun by the Santa Blanca drug cartel. The cartel have become a global threat, and so the US have dispatched an elite special operations unit known as the Ghosts to contain the situation. During our time with the hands-on demo, we played a short 20-minute mission of the campaign in 4-player co-op mode with one of the game's developers, who guided us through the mission, explained some of the game's key features, and helped us get the hang of everything. Our briefing for the mission was as follows. Last year, 300 people disappeared in the San Mateo province of Bolivia. No bodies were ever found, so we needed to find out what happened to them. We had some intel on a cartel manager at Rancho Luna that could give us a bit more of an insight, so our first objective was to pay him a visit and interrogate him to find out what he knows. Now, you would have thought that a 4-person squad consisting of 3 gaming YouTubers and a game developer under the guidance of another game developer overseeing everything would have made this mission run like clockwork, right? Well, it was. Until we alerted the cartel manager to our presence, he tried to escape and... Headshot! I shot him. In the fucking head. Thankfully, we weren't forced to restart the mission from the beginning. We just had to proceed without the information we were seeking from the cartel manager. You know, because I shot him. And he was dead. The developers had a bit of a laugh, but deep down I knew that they were thinking that I was a complete fucking dickhead. Seeing as though I then proceeded to gun down every civilian I came across, I can't say that I'd blame them if they did. But hey, at least I was having fun, which is the whole point, right? After our first playthrough, we were able to replay the mission again, except this time we were given complete control as to how we went about getting the job done. The second time around, I managed to redeem myself by intercepting the cartel manager before he could escape and interrogated him. That redemption would be short-lived, however, as I still mercilessly slaughtered almost every innocent bystander I could find.
These guys are all lined up praying.
Frag out! Hola putas!
Wait!
So, what did I like about Ghost Recon Wildlands? Well, for starters, the large open world environment of the game. Even though we were only able to play within a small section of what will be the game's overall map, even that was still pretty big. The large scale of the game environment provided us with multiple avenues of approaching the enemy encampments we encountered. In one situation, we were able to completely surround an enemy stronghold and close in from all directions. In another, we all lied prone on hillsides and cliff tops overlooking an enemy position and used our sniper rifles to take out 4 different enemies simultaneously in a coordinated strike. This freedom of choice not only applies to dealing with enemies, but also getting around the environment as well. In our gameplay demo, we were given access to a few different vehicles ranging from dirt bikes to a helicopter. I really enjoyed tearing up the road in my dirt bike, pulling wheelies and trying to knock my teammate off of theirs. I also thoroughly enjoyed taking a chopper to a location, jumping out and parachuting down to the ground. It was all a lot of fun, and felt very organic because of the large scale of the game's open world environment. Man, fuck this cartel shit. I want to be a professional basketball player. But what I liked most about Wildlands by far was the 4-player co-op feature. Being able to play through the entire game's campaign with up to 4 friends looks very promising indeed. I know that 4-player co-op isn't really something new and revolutionary, but I feel that it works well in Wildlands. It allows players to work together as a team and really helps deliver that tactical aspect of the game. Enemies could be marked by either aiming down weapon sights or by using drones to hover over enemy encampments for a better visual perspective. Marked enemy and objective positions and information was shared across the team, so that each player had an equal idea of each situation, meaning that we could all communicate with one another and come up with a coordinated strike plan in every situation, even if that strike plan boiled down to simply running in guns blazing and killing everything that moved. Which it did most of the time. Strategy and teamwork aside, what I loved most about Ghost Recon's 4-player co-op was the banter between the 3 of us as we played through the mission. Put simply, it was fucking hilarious, and even though we were only given about 45 minutes with the game, I could easily see myself spending several hours playing this game for the banter alone. So if you know 3 people that you can talk into getting this game upon its release, you're gonna have a good time. Now let's talk about the negatives. Firstly, the cover system, or the lack thereof. A tactical shooter without any sort of cover system seems a bit silly. Instead of pressing up against walls and other objects for cover, I was strafing in and out of doorways, back and forth from behind buildings and so on to avoid taking damage from enemy fire. A cover system would also assist in the stealth element of the game by allowing players to take cover behind doorways and other objects to avoid detection. Naturally, you can still do that, but a simple cover system would have made it look and feel a bit more organic than what it currently is. Secondly, at this stage, the enemy AI doesn't appear to be all that bright, with most of the enemies encountered choosing to stand right out in the open rather than take cover behind something to protect themselves. Mind you, there were mortar teams, machine gun nests and sniper towers scattered throughout the final enemy stronghold we cleared out. There was also an enemy helicopter that joined the fray, and enemies called for reinforcements when needed. So they have the tools to put up a fight and definitely use them. And finally, when I was riding shotgun in the helicopter, the developers encouraged me to get behind the minigun and fuck shit up. I jumped at the chance, but was left feeling a little disappointed as I watched my hail of machine gun fire have little to no impact at all. Where an enemy should have been completely torn to shreds by bullets, they seemed to be completely immune and were left standing despite my best efforts to bring them down. So yeah, disappointing. But I'm sure that this will be rectified by the time the game is released. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the time I spent getting a hands-on with Ghost Recon Wildlands. It wasn't without its flaws, but I was way too busy having fun with Lachlan and Prestige Clips to care that much. I've been asked by the developers to emphasise that this isn't the final version of the game, and seeing as though it isn't due for release until March of next year, the developers have plenty of time to iron out the issues and make any necessary changes to ensure that Ghost Recon Wildlands is as close as possible to their vision for it. Based on what I played at E3, the game has a lot of potential to be awesome, and I'm sure that it will be when it's released, but we'll have to wait and see. Well, that does it for me for now, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks heaps for watching, and I'll catch you next time.